All right, all right, all right. We got another episode. And man, I'm excited about this episode. Why? Because I am a football fan. Man, the Latin, I'm just, what is the right word for you guys? I don't know if you guys know, but, soccer, football is a religion for us as South Americans, right? We just live, breathe. Everything that we do is around football. And man, I'm excited to be able to bring on Amit and talk to us about UNKJD. And I'm gonna probably tell you one thing, man. I you know, I went to college. I paid for a lot of college drinks, a lot of college parties, a lot of my college extracurricular activities were paid because of FIFA and running tournaments and having things that going on the side. So let me tell you something. When this came out and I started checking this out, I was like, oh, all right. Finally, something that speaks to me, right? So man, how are you today? How you doing? Tell me, how are the vibes? How are you feeling?
So thanks. Happy. This is one of the best introductions I've heard about football lately. Okay, this is why I love having interviewed by someone from Latin America. Okay, this is exactly the reason, guys. I know how you feel about football, right? I know it's like it gets me excited myself. I'm also a big football fan, and I have to say that I saw the Manchester United shirt there. Uh, not the best season. Not the best season.
It's one of those things where I tell people, when you could know a lot about a person just by their jersey. And
I
so
know
you
about the
can
year you've been having.
yeah, and you can know what type of mood they are in and what type of like vibe they are in just by the logo and just by what's there, right? So
Yeah.
man, it's been a tough season, but you know what, man? We just keep going through. I always tell people we had a phenomenal run for, I mean, God, it's a decade, right? That we had
20
just,
years, right? Yeah.
yeah, just a phenomenal run. And I said to people, like, it's all part of, the wave goes up and it comes crashing. So sometimes we just have to deal with the blows, but it is very, very frustrating to keep watching.
Yeah. Yeah. There is more to watch, right? You're almost there. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm excited, man. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you to give us just give us like a 30-second commercial of like you're at the dinner table, no one knows about crypto, Web3. What do you say to them is what you do for a living and what you're building?
So great. Now, so first, I'm in gaming. Okay, this is the number one thing, right? I'm in gaming, and this gaming is having this Web3 ecosystem around it. So, if you want to connect to a table, right, you have to start by saying, okay, so we are creating this amazing casual mobile style football game for and then you catch someone who's like around 8 or 9 at the table, and you let them play, and then this child starts playing the game. So there you have it. This is 30 seconds. Wow, this is so enjoyable, right? So I win the table. But for real, so Uncaged is we're doing like a football style, live football style, like FIFA, just like you mentioned about FIFA, and we are infusing with MOBA elements, like RPG elements, if you know Brawl Stars. So basically, what we're doing is taking this live football. You can see that we will see it in a few minutes. Okay, you will see the characters playing, and those are unique characters. Just like in Brawl Stars, you choose specific characters based on what they do or based on how they look or how you relate to them. So it's the same for us. And so this game is for everyone. As I was saying, it's like the core is Web2, but okay, there is an entire Web3 ecosystem around it. So you can actually play and earn. There is NFTs. We call them digital ballers. So if you are, let's say, if you're a casual gamer, at some point you will see some unique characters, and you will say, okay, what is this unique character? I need one, and then we will expose you to something else, which is called Web3, right? So that comes later at the table, okay?
Bro, I absolutely love the. Hey man, let me tell you something. I am going to bring you to my dinner table because every time I tell them what I do, first of all, I don't think my aunt or my uncle have talked to me in years because I told them to buy Ethereum at like 3,800, and I said that thing's gonna go to the moon. And guess where we are right now? So yeah, I haven't talked to that side of the family in a while. But hey man, I'm gonna definitely bring you around to make sure that you help out with how to pitch what gaming is and what Web3 gaming is. Look, man, really, really cool to hear. I think you guys have had a lot of success. You guys have been building for a very long time. Tell me, where are you guys right now in the stage of life? Like, is it a beta, alpha build? When is the launch? What's that juicy alpha that like everybody wants to know?
That's a great question, and I'll give you a little teaser, but there's big things coming up next week. Okay, and this is all I'm going to drop here, but there is lots to be excited, like really lots to be excited. Okay, but I just simply cannot say anything other than watch out for the next week. Where we at right now? So, at first, like a few years ago, we were monkeys. Everyone knew us for Monkey Ball, Monkey League, right? We were just monkeys. We had lots of NFTs of monkeys, right? And we had like this very slow game. It was like a turn-based monkeys playing soccer. It was amazing, okay? And then we tested it. We just started buying traffic, okay? Because this is what we do. Okay, first, if you wanna prove that you have a working game, you have to onboard thousands, tens of thousands of gamers, right, to see how it works. So we reached like this ceiling. Okay, it wasn't the best. It wasn't what we really wanted, and we sat down. And over the past year or so, we rebuilt the game. Just like I was saying, it became like a live football game instead of a turn-based football game. And just like a month ago, it was released into the wild. So right now, the game is actually live in select countries. One of them, the biggest country right now, the tier 1 country is Canada, right? So if I know there's some members.
Canada?
You're in Canada.
No, man.
If you go, wait a minute. So if you, okay,
Canada, they don't
because we had this
they don't
discussion.
even know what football is in Canada.
Yeah, I know. Maybe in I don't know. Maybe in French territories, but no. Maybe, but yeah, it's one of the biggest tier 1 countries, Canada. But the game is also live in Brazil, for example, right? Which is more common for. And we are doing user acquisition, like mass user acquisition, testing our retention, testing our return on ad spend, and we're doing fine. To be honest, we're doing good. And as we will release more numbers and stabilize the game, we will release it in more countries, and we will start hyping even more and more around the game. And rather than that, as I was saying, there is things going on which will be released the coming week. Next week.
Yeah, no, look, man, congratulations, right, to launch. Congratulations to be able to say that the game is live. I mean, for many, many years, we've had to tell people like, imagine this, imagine that, and like make people like dream, or even like have these pictures in your head based on vocal words. And now we're able to go even further and say, no, let me just tell you, go download the game, try it out for yourself. This is what we're building, this is what it looks like. So it's really, really cool to hear. I love that you guys are really targeting user acquisition, and they look, Canada, Brazil, again, popular countries that again make a lot of sense for what they're doing. I think in Canada, because they're not good at football, maybe they're good at on the mobile device, but maybe in Brazil, because they are good at football, they want to try it on the mobile device. So there are cool things there to say. Okay, you guys did this in this release, but on top of like you guys going from like monkeys to where we are today, I even saw you guys had like Puma as a partner, which is one of the largest sponsor retail brands in football. So talk to us, like, how do you guys are able to navigate such giant names in Web 2 and bring them into Web 3?
So Puma is the sponsor of Manchester City, your rival opponents. And I was, again, it's the second thing I noticed. But yeah, so this is, if you really want to connect Web 2 gamers into Web 3, you have to connect them also with big brands that they know. That, if you see Puma when when you launch the game, or when you see an ad and you see, oh my God, this company is actually, there is a Puma sign right next to UNKJD sign, right? It means that they're doing something together, and so it gives me the trust. Okay, so this is number one thing, and the second thing is that we're actually going to embed Puma characters inside the game. So you will be able to play with a Puma branded character in the game. You will be able to purchase it, right? How? Through the web store only, which is actually only like an NFT, like a digital baller. So this is, again, right, if you're from Web 2 and you want to get this cool Puma character, you will have to go inside the Web3 ecosystem that we've got there. And Puma is not the only name. We're also partnered with Meta, Facebook, Instagram, right? So they're helping us doing the user acquisition, and that we're actually doing now. And there is more big, retail brands coming. So again, there is things to watch for. We believe in the connection between culture, right, and gaming. It's not just us; it's all gaming companies, and it's the same with Web3. 100% the same.
Yeah, totally, man. I love that you ended it with that, because I think that there's something there that is truly missing in Web3, right? When you talk about culture and understanding the audience and understanding who your client is probably the most missed thing in Web3. I'm like, guys, do you understand what product market fit is? And then they're like looking at me and they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, who's the users that are going to be playing your games? Do you understand, what they like, what they want to see, where they are, where they live? So I love to be able to, that you're thinking ahead, and you're actually looking to connect with users that are actually there to use what you guys are building. So shout out to you guys. Look, I think like Puma's massive name, Meta, Facebook is a massive name. I think those are things that just are almost sometimes taken for granted in Web3, because those kind of partnerships, the legalities, the everything that goes into them wanting to work with Web3 has been such a wall, such a burden. So shout out to you guys to find a way to be able to bring them in, especially bring them into your game. And I think like massive win for you guys as well this past week with, Apple and everything that came out about Apple not having, again, the new pricing guidelines, being able to have the web store now in apps, take them into your web store and have them be able to sell digital collectibles, have them be able to buy within your currency. That is just massive for Web3 gaming. And man, like, I'm sure you guys are like right now, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in your marketing team right now and just like listen to all the ideas of like, all right, guys, we got to push this out right now, the web store. We got to push out, how do we get more digital collectibles? Because now is the opportunity to take advantage of that, because truly, that's why a lot of games for a long time in mobile were saying, hey, download it from a link, download this APK. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want to download this, man. Next thing you know, my wallet might be drained. And so most people in Web3 are now saying, hey, give me an Epic link, give me a Steam link, Google Play Store, Apple Store, whatever that is. And I think like massive win for what your guys are building. Any thoughts to that as well? Like anything that you want to share, like that you guys are excited about, the way that you guys built your game towards, something like this?
That was one of the, the biggest hurdles to build, right? Because if you want to get a game on App Store or on Play Store, right? More specifically, by the way, on App Store, right? Because Apple is, much more stricter when it comes to, their fees. I don't know if you know it, but they charge up to 30% of, every transaction that goes through the App Store. 30%. It's crazy, 30%. Okay, because if you think about it, when you do a web store, okay, then you don't have to pay 30%. Then you can actually discount, the people that are actually playing through crypto by 30%. Because either way, those are 30% that we didn't own, right? So at least it goes back to the clients. So that is absolutely, it's very, it's very fresh. I don't know exactly, right, what has really changed, but the direction is much, clearer at the moment. If that will become something which, permanently you could actually place a web store link inside the game, that is a massive win. Like absolutely massive win for all games. Okay, not just for us, for all Web3 games on
Yeah,
mobile.
yeah. I mean, like, revenue is something that's not talked about in Web3, right? And I don't know why. I mean, I always tell people, like, if you're not building towards trying to make money, then how will you survive, right? And I think that right now, with that massive, massive win for Web3 here, like the revenue, like conversations, the revenue planning, the revenue strategy board, all that finally comes like in the front of everything. So like I'm assuming like everything's getting wiped off the table of like the to-do list to like bring the revenue to the forefront, because again, if we could start understanding the user, understanding the behavior, understanding the spend, and understanding all these things, this is the way to be able to make sure that the game again has a future, has season 1, season 2, season 10, has ways to again just keep developing, right? The next iteration of the model, the next upgrade to the model. I think FIFA has done a phenomenal job of taking all my money, right? Every year, the damn cards, the ultimate team, everything. Like every year, like I'm just a junkie. Like it's sad. I don't even like to even open up my credit card statement anymore. And so it's like, man, the psychology there is that again, my credit card's just attached. It's easy to do. I always say just one more game. And next thing you know, God, like, again, I'm pretty deep into it. So I think like being able to understand that and being able to build what you guys are building, like, man, that revenue stream just became like that faucet just got opened up. So it's really, really cool to like already hear from you guys that you guys are like way ahead of the ball curve.
Well, we're doing our best to stay, as you were saying, and I was saying it at the beginning of the conversation, right? Firstly, you have to create a game that works. Okay, it's not, as you're saying, it's not sell a vision, our community, sometimes they're not very happy, right? Because we keep delaying the like official launch. They tell us like, you've been working on this thing for like 4 years, for like 3 years, you're working and working, and we're looking for something, but eventually, right, when it will come out, and I don't know if you heard about it, but just today, GTA announced that they're going to release on May 24. I think that, they had like a 1 year delay or so, and this is, GTA. So if you want to have like, the perfect place, it's sometimes, you're saying in tech, you don't have to go out with like 100%, right? If you go out with 100%, then only 100% you go to the market. But in gaming, it's a bit different. You have to go 100% in the market. You have to bring like a fully polished game, okay? Not less than that. So this is where we're headed.
Yeah.
We're very close. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a massive win for Grand Theft Auto be delayed another year, because it is a very pivotal year for Web3 gaming this year, as a lot of like 2021, 2022, like VC funding is finally like at that point of, hey, it took me 2, 3, 4 years to build. These games are going to get launched this year. There is a plate of games that are looking to launch this year. And there was in the Web2 space, there was a very much of a black hole of, hey, you can't launch a game because of Grand Theft Auto. And now with this news, like I'm thinking again, everybody's like marketing plans are like, guys, we could launch this year. We could have our build ready to go. And like, it's massive because again, funding, right? Funding is starting to get dried up, and I'm sure games are starting to understand that as well. And they're like, hey, we just need to launch. So it's a big win, and I'm excited for it as well, like for Web3 and everything. So, I mean, people are talking about bull markets. I mean, talk about timing. Timing is everything. And you look at this, right? The timing of the essence. So we talked a little bit about, again, where you guys are stage of the game, again, like the partnerships, Puma and everything. Now, I think that 2025, the second half of the year, massive things are coming. World Cup, Copa America. I mean, there's all these massive events, right? What's the plan there as well? Like, are you guys like targeting? Is it like, are you guys going to be like almost live match kind of like, real time, being able to kind of match what's happening in the real world, right? I know that typically a lot of games, especially that are centered or around football, fantasy league, everything like that, these are the moments that they time it for. What's your thoughts, or what's your plans, or something you can share?
So there is well, the massive event is actually next year. I understand Copa America. Respect. Okay. Next year there is World Cup, right, in the US and Canada. So if you're aiming for something which is, extra amazing, you have to prepare for next year. Copa America aside, full respect. Okay. Our main target right now is to be able to, fully launch the game, globally launch the game all out this summer. Okay, like this is for us the target at the moment. This is what we're looking for at the moment. There is nothing else that we think about. We're just thinking about, we're doing the user acquisition, we're testing. Okay, we keep inviting community players and real players and Web2 players. Everyone is playing the game. We are fixing things. We are getting better. For example, we've just reached like this massive win for us, which is day one retention, one of the first metrics for a game, and that metrics reached 40%, which is crazy. It means that 4 out of every 10 players that actually come and play the game, they come again the next day to play the game, like from advertisement to download the game to play the next day. This is our main aim. And when it comes to Web3, what we are expecting is to become more like an ecosystem. Okay, this is one of, as a gaming studio, we want to say, okay, we have this amazing game, okay, but that's not everything. We have much more than that to share with our community and to show the Web3 world. We've been working on tons of stuff. Okay, so, Striker League, the name of the game is Striker League. Okay, it's not Uncaged. So Striker League is, it's the core game. It's one of the main things that we do, but we actually wrapped it up with an ecosystem, which we will start exposing towards getting next week, etc. So, it's like midterm plan and the long-term plan, which is actually getting the game out, fully polished, fully working, hitting all the metrics, day 1, day 2, day 7, day 30, and return on ad spend.
All right, so I'm actually trying to tweet what you just said so that I could be the first one to break the news. Right, breaking news next week. You guys have something massive coming out. Oh man,
something is coming. Yeah,
yeah. I love the understanding. I've always liked to understand like the philosophies and the visions. The visions are the most important part, especially because you guys have very much well thought about all this. Again, the game release massive this year, right? Like that's a great target to look at and everything, and how to keep going, because again, like it's just one of those things. People think that the launch is like the end, but that's just the beginning, right? Like that's just the beginning of it all, right? That's actually when, it's funny in Web3, I always say like we work like 24/7. And I don't know if in your job they allow you to sleep or grab lunch or grab dinner, but in my job, unfortunately, like, I can't get lunch, I can't get dinner. And if I go to sleep, someone might launch a token, someone might launch a game, and guess what? I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life. So I'm very much like, hey, but I think that, once the game gets launched, that's when actually the real work starts kicking in, because user acquisition, ads are something that people, I don't think understand how much work and manpower it takes to make sure that you're pulling the right plugs. Hey, the right levers where it's working, because you are literally spending money by the minute. And if you don't know and you're not A/B testing and not spending the money correctly, you're going to probably just waste money when you could have been allocating it to, hey, maybe it is working in this region, or hey, maybe it is working with this ad placement. So it's really, really cool that, like, man, you guys are like killing it right now. And I'm a huge fan already. I'm definitely going to try the game now. Like, I need to download it. I am afraid because I do have a crazy schedule today that, I don't want to be the guy that's like distracted while I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that guy. So talk to me about like when you guys launch, or even now, will there be tournaments, anything like that are like community activations? Because I think like, yeah, man, like this is where I shine, right? Tournaments are my thing. So I have to ask you, like, when tournaments and when can I participate?
So first, you just described our CEO. person that goes from a meeting to a meeting and then plays the game, keep on playing the game. It's like playing the game, you know, if he works 24/7 or 23/7, so the one left hour is playing the game. He's playing the game, right? You want to see how it feels because every day there is something new. Every day, no, you know, this is how it works. Every day there is something new happening in the game because it's based on data. So when you see things, if you see users click on something, then the next day we're actually changing it. Okay, so other things happen. So it keeps on playing the game like all the time. So community. Okay, this is the number one thing that I'm looking for at the moment is to actually get the game to work and for our respected community and to do like an inside thing when you can actually play like an inside leaderboards, because right now when you go and play the game you play leaderboards with random people from all over the world. Everyone who had the game can actually join the leaderboard, and we're looking to do, like as you were saying, something more oriented at the community, specifically our dedicated Web3 community. And one of the most amazing things about the Web3 is that unlike Web2 gaming, so in Web2 gaming, you first launch a game and then you build a community. We actually have a community while we're building the game. So when the game is out, there's actually people that are actually, going to vouch for it. And I feel like this is the most exciting thing to me about the Web3 is the fact, and I've been to gaming before, the fact that, you have a game in the market with a community already. This is crazy. Okay, this is it doesn't happen in Web2. It doesn't happen. We own them. I truly feel like we owe them, and we want to do things just for them.
Yeah, man, that's such a great point that I don't think many people even understand, right? Like what's coming to market, although I think there's always an audience issue from the game developer to the user, because in Web3, they're very much play testers. They're not really gamers, because essentially a gamer would be really playing a fully polished game. But I think one of the benefit is that these play testers become aficionados of what you're building. And if they love what you're building, they become marketers. And if they become marketers, that means, oh my God, you solved one of the hardest Rubik's Cubes that there is, right? So shout out to the way that you just described that. Hey, I'm coming to market already with the community. Mm-hmm. That's our next advantage that we have already as a project, as a team, as a community themselves, as their holders and everything like that. Very, 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 it's very cool to hear it. I want to bring the game up now because I definitely want us to showcase a little bit of the game. I want us to see what's all the hype, man. I'm itching to get this thing on my phone right now because, again, I spend hours of my time, weekends of my time. I spend all of it being around football. I mean, I tell you one thing, man, the weekends and the mornings, I'm watching Premier League. That's what I do. Then I like to watch some South American soccer, right? And I follow a lot. So nice. Yeah, for me, this is really cool. While we bring up the game in a second, let me ask you this. What's the idea or what's the thought process as well as of, Web3 is one of the beauties has always been interoperability. It's been a question that's always kind of brought up. And I know you got Facebook, you got Meta and everything, but what's your thoughts on also the integration of other IPs and stuff like that? Is that something that's also on the cards or on the table? And maybe if you want to talk a little further on that, I thought that it's very unique what you guys have built it, because you guys went from monkeys to where you are now. And man, there was a great path there and journey to that to happen. Just kind of wanted to touch on that.
So if you're talking about IPs, I can actually show the game. I feel like, the game will speak for itself, because, building a MOBA game, just like Brawl Stars type, okay, and the role-playing game, it involves, and that's the thing, right? Because Monkeys is unique, and it's also very Web3 unique in a way, right? So people love Monkeys in Web3, but then when you hit the real world, when you hit kids all over the world, right, and not even kids, right, even kids like us, right? Older kids that actually play.
I'm 18 years old. Don't play around, man.
Exactly. Kids like us. So it doesn't necessarily relate to them. So we recreated the IP, and it looks a bit So this is the game, right? This is like the main lobby of the
Okay.
game. Okay. If you start a game right now, it will take you through like an onboarding process. You will learn how to use, um, all the
Controllers and
the
everything.
controllers, right? Exactly. And you learn how to use the game, and you will learn a bit about the characters, and there's like a slow progress, right? So these are what we call legends. Legends are the bowlers. Those are actually, this is the IP of the game. Okay. So we're seeing, characters that has some stories. What I love about, those stories is that it's not like pre-built stories. I don't know if you went like, if you go out to like Brawl Stars forums and stuff, you see that people actually come up with stories. They come up with conspiracies about the characters. So we kind of leave it to the audience sometimes to decide how they feel about, the characters. For example, this guy is Bills, right? And I just gave him like a skin of a hot dog. So this is Bills, right? And you can get skins, you can buy skins, or you can earn skins. So this is the hot dog style Bills, right? And there is like a very big lineup right now. I think that there's like 22 characters already designed. From defenders like Phil, right there, and for attackers, and like Flair. So incredible IP. Everyone can relate to some character, and each character has different level of rarity. So some of them, are better than others. All of those characters are Web 2 available characters, okay? And there will be like an extra button here, and that you will actually be able to pick, the NFT characters. And those NFT characters are going to be like, the Mbappe, Haaland, Ronaldo, and Messi of the game. So the most unique and the rarest characters, bowlers in the game are actually NFTs, reserved only Web3 NFTs. Okay. And each character has, some skins that you can actually, like this guy right here, Kane. So, you can dress him in a few types of.
This is awesome, man. Like I love that. Like it, like you mentioned kids before, right? But it's actually something that I think Web3 also kind of a little bit missed the audience thing, is that it's kids a lot to be part of your target market, because essentially they're the ones even playing even more, right? And they're the ones that are actually even probably spending more right now. Because I could tell you one thing, my daughter's account right now, every time I see credits being loaded up, I'm like, where is this coming from? And then I look at my bank statement, I'm like, oh my God, can we cut this thing off? And I think like it's okay. People always wonder, like, is it okay to sell to kids? And I'm like, of course, there's toy companies, there's book companies, there's Disney spends a massive amount of marketing towards kids. Games do too. It's perfectly fine as long as you're, again, educating and being able to help them understand what it is. Yes, there is a token value. Yes, there is a conversion value, but there is ways to make sure that again, you are educating on, hey, it's just like your typical XP in any of the games that you're playing now.
Exactly. And as you were saying, right, if eventually, blockchain is a technology, right? And it shouldn't be like a hurdle for anyone just because it's blockchain. Because if it's a problem for someone to pay using, our token, then it means that we're not doing something right. If it's a problem, okay, because it should be like so easy for everyone to actually do it. Okay, of course, understand how it works, but it should be as easy as like, pay, right? Just swipe your NFC. So there's let's play a game. Maybe should I play one game?
Hey man, I was gonna ask you about your time limit, because I know you told me you had a time limit.
So this is why I'm asking. Like, let's play a game, right?
Go for it, man. Go for it. Let's see.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm taking so much notes right now, man, because I'll tell you one thing. I'll probably just need one game to load up and I'll be ready to go,
That's the fun thing about casual games, right? Because all you need is like 2 minutes. So there you go. It's not like a FIFA. You have to sit down, right? Everyone sits down, or you sit down, then, okay, I'm going to do it for the next 1 hour or two. This is like, okay, I go in the bathrooms and I have like a few minutes. So anyways, I'm going to click the play button. And usually I'm a pretty good gamer, but when I start streaming, not the best sometimes. Okay, so
it's
yeah.
the pressure. You can't handle the pressure.
All right. Okay. So if you have questions for me, I will try to answer them while I'm playing, but let's do it.
Yeah, no, I'd love to walk us through like as you're shooting, as
Okay.
you're passing. Like I'm already seeing some of like the power buttons and everything. So is it like, hey,
Exactly.
30%? I already saw something's turbo. What's the character abilities and like do they get tired? Do you have to substitute things like that?
Yes, exactly. So you can see the stamina bar, just like
Yep.
you can see in FIFA. So if they start playing too much, so they get if you start running too much, they will get a bit tired. There you go. You see something just happened, and then you have like the power bar for the pass and one for the shooting. There you go. Oh my God! I just scored a very nice goal. This guy Bit right here is one of my favorite attackers. It's very, it's simpler than playing FIFA in a way, but it's still a skill-based game. Okay, so it's not as easy as I make it look right now. And also I have to say that since I'm doing lots of testing, so I kind of like reinstall the game. And so I'm actually in a much higher level than the game that is actually being played right now. This is a special skill, what you've just seen.
No,
And this is what makes, the more unique players actually better, because the special skills are actually making the game. Okay, these are like, it's not just about shooting and passing the ball. It's about using the special skills, and they have like this cooldown. So you have to be smart and you have to choose like a strategy. Oh, wow. It's like how many...
No, man, that's really cool, man. I love the thought process behind even like the game right now and just seeing it, because I don't think people understand building like a game like this. It takes a lot, right? I mean, I think if you're just looking at the character abilities, again, just the performance of it, I think like already, I mean, you could tell that this has taken years to build, right? Because it's not something that's able to be done like in a couple weeks. Because yeah, to get to that level of performance right now that you just showcased, it truly shows how well built the game is.
It takes years, but to be honest, I mean, this last version that we actually see took us 1 year. And we've developed kind of like an AI learning system for training the characters. So we are training the characters very fast. So it helps us create, reach better results, like how to tackle, right? How to pass, what to do, where to stay, where, FIFA built their core game for like, 20 years. So it won't be FIFA, and FIFA is not a competition. The competition here, I think, is more of the casual games.
Yeah. Well, the casual football games, right? I mean, I think
casual
that's
football
it right
games.
there. And I think like, man, if anybody's watching this and is working or building with fantasy leagues or anything like that, y'all better reach out to them, because like I could see the perfect partnership here of hey man, like let's bring in some fun stakes to the game, right? Because I don't even know if you're building that yet, and I hope if you are, then don't reach out to him if you already have some sort of stakes coming into the game, because yeah, man, that's where really football gets a lot of fun.
Yeah, 100%. For me, it's a fun job.
No, totally, man. Well, look, man, it's been awesome to kind of like really deep dive into what you're building. I really love where the game is. I'm definitely gonna give it a try, and I definitely want to check this out. I think like 2025 seems like, man, it's going to be a massive year for you guys. So I'm really excited to keep watching and seeing everything develop. Be a huge fan of what you guys are building. And hey, man, hopefully bring a legend into the game, right? Like Carlitos Tevez, you know what I'm saying? So hey, it shows my age for those that are watching this. Probably
I know what you mean, but yeah,
they're like, man, that guy's old if he's rocking a Tevez. But look, I think it's really cool to see where you guys are. It's cool that Apple's being able to do this. It's a huge win for you guys. What's just the next milestone besides the launch? Anything else that you guys are also kind of like, hey, man, like what's out of the box that you want to make sure you guys try to hit? Is there any goals that are like super ambitious that you could share?
I feel like, the game launch after 4 years is a pretty big milestone for us. And this is like the one thing that, the entire team, we're talking about between almost 40 people actually working on this game to be launched. So that is the biggest milestone. This is like what our studio wants. And every day is like a few milestones. Every day is a few milestones because all of those retention statistics, when you reach 40% for the day one, this is a big milestone. When we're going to reach 35% in the day two, it's going to be a celebration. Yep. And when we're going to reach the day 30 numbers, this is where, we will know that it's happening. It's happening for real this time.
Yeah, I think like if you guys plan any celebrations or parties, let me know so that I could come. I know how to throw a party. I know how to be the party. So make sure you send me a DM. Man, look, tell us where can we find the game, how to download it, where's the Discord, what's the socials that we should keep in touch? How do we make sure that we're connected?
Great. So if you're first, the first thing that you should definitely do, right, if you're watching us or if you're watching us later, okay, so go to the Apple Store, go to the Play Store, see if you can download the game. It's called UNKJD or Uncaged or Striker League. If you cannot find it there, it means that it's not in your country. So if it's not in your country, you can still have access. All you have to do is go to our Discord. Okay, it's also Uncaged. I think that we'll probably share the link somewhere, right? You can also find it in the Twitter, in the handle of the profile. And inside the Discord, okay, so if you came from, just say, go to the mods, say, hey, I'm here from Solana Gaming, and submit a ticket. And what we will do is just basically send you like a test flight kind of link. It's fully accessible. You can play the game. You'll get updates all the time, okay? It's not like you're just downloading sometime, which is, one-time thing, okay? You're actually connected to the game. It's just not available in your country, but you can always play it. In some countries, you will actually be able to use the App Store and the Play Store. Or if you can't, there is a web store solution, right? This is again, another thing which I love about Web3, right? Because even if payments are blocked in your countries for some reason, you have Web3.
Love it. I love it. That's such a massive statement right there, that to be able to pay anywhere, anytime. That's the beauty of the Web3 space. And I appreciate you coming on. It was awesome talking to you. It was awesome to deep dive into what you're building. Again, huge fan of what you guys are going to be building. And hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, let me know when that first tournament is, because I'm ready. I'm going to practice. I want to be on the top of the leaderboard, man. When it comes down to football, man, I'll tell you one thing. I am probably the most competitive person in the world. So, hey, let me know time, date. We'll make a huge stream. We'll put prize pools behind it. Let's do it all. Let's go out big party. So, Amit, thank you again for coming on, man. It's another show. Make sure everybody that's watching, listening, you head over to the Discord. Get that link. Start practicing now, because you need practice. Because once I get in, you're gonna need the practice. So get ahead of me. Get in there. Anybody that's got the Solana Gaming Pass, make sure you're in our Discord as well. Make sure you hit the Games GG. Also hit all the quests that are available. Again, head into the Discord for special access, special skins, everything that we have going on from those games that are providing everything. Once again, to another show. Appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on, and to the next one tomorrow. See y'all.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.